Good evening, Dr. Watson. My name is Wendy Gomez. I'm from Whispering Pines, North Carolina, which is about 4 hours from Boone. I hope to get up there and visit. Since I'm doing my degree online, I would really still love to see the campus. And my daughter, who is 19, is planning to finish her associates here locally and then head to App State as a junior. So sooner or later, I'll get up there to see it. I also have a 20-year-old son who's in the Army and is a medic and will be leaving for Korea in about a month. So kind of looking at your questions that you are wanting to get to know us a little bit. What do I like to do in my spare time? Well, I sing. I love to sing. And at home, I really enjoy organizing and purging. So my husband notices that if something sits for too long, it tends to end up at a consignment store or at a Goodwill. So I think the older we've gotten and now that our kids are grown, I don't seem to keep as much. So I really like to just keep a very simplified house. So any special situations or something to know about me is probably similar to what you and I spoke about yesterday, that I really do well when I have clear instructions. And if I'm not real clear on them, I tend to want to communicate with the instructor. So I am grateful that you took a few minutes to talk with me, and hopefully we can have more opportunities. So as things come along, I can clarify what you're asking. I love to learn, and I just like to feel like I'm on the right track before I get too far down. So that would be my only special circumstance. I do work full time, but I do have a number of days that I'm off during the week so that I can do my schoolwork. And like I said, now that my kids are grown, it's a wonderful time for me to really get into my studies. I don't have a ton of distractions at this point in my life. So as I was looking at some examples of rhetoric and how I am civically engaged outside of the traditional electoral process, from my understanding of that question and understanding rhetoric, I work at a church and I work with hundreds of volunteers. And so when I was looking at different types of civic engagement, volunteering at a church or being a part of a church seemed to be one of those. And I have found that I use pathos often in my persuasion because I find that it works best when I can appeal to people's emotions. We have a mutual interest when they come to volunteer at a church. And then ultimately it's a call to action. So I love speaking in front of people. I love compelling people. So I am excited to learn about the art of rhetoric. When I looked at ways that I have used this role to build trust, to build culture, that has really framed my rhetoric messages or my rhetorical messages. So I found that was the best example. I thought that is a real living example of how I use rhetoric in my life and why this class will be very helpful and how to use that skill for the purposes of motivating people and not manipulating people. I'm a very charismatic person, so I find I have to be careful and choose my words so that I don't lean towards the side of manipulation and they use my words and follow me just because they like me versus my having some content in my message. So I hope that answers the question. Thanks so much.